right, welcome back to Orange Peelers. This could be the best episode to date.
Could it?
It could
Had some
be.
good ones.
I think based on the weekend's results, this is going to be my favourite episode ever.
Will it?
You know, Bulldogs' famous victory
Over the bye.
Huge 2 points.
Tough to do for most teams.
And South Sydney's just continue their downfall out of the top 8.
I'd like to skip that game. If I can.
Now, Zane, before we get into it, I want to mix things up a little bit. I want to do our player of the week and most disappointing players before we do the games.
Okay.
But before we even do that, I've got a present for you. I've got a present for you, mate.
Oh no, what is it?
Open that. We got a new sponsor, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the Vintage Thread. Hold it up to the camera. Show the camera.
I know what this is.
Hold it up the other way. You're holding it upside down. And then open it up. Buster open.
What a good week to get a t-shirt of Latrell, isn't it?
Now, speaking of Latrell Mitchell, Zane, before I continue the ad for the Vintage Thread, my most disappointing player this week
Is Latrell
none other than Trell Mitt.
Is he now? Even though we got 66 fantasy points.
Yeah.
So, he doesn't have to play well to get points. He's just that good. He's just that good.
Do you want to toss it on?
Yeah, I'll
Put
toss
it on.
Why not?
Yeah, jump, get the shirt off on camera. No, I'll cut this. I'll cut this. Bang! How good.
But speaking of most disappointing player, mine is also from the Rabbitohs, but it's not Latrell Mitchell.
It's
Can you
not the
guess?
man on your
There's
shirt.
There's a lot of people to choose from. It's unfortunately my favourite up-and-coming player, Tai Munn.
Oh.
He bombed 5 tries, and that is just
he led in a couple.
He led in a couple, but he bombed 5 as well. And it's a shame because he's got a lot of talent, but I don't think this was the right game for South to throw him in as a rookie.
He came in late, didn't he?
Yeah, and I just don't think it was the right game.
He had that play at the end where he was running down the side and just
and
dropped it. Hey,
It's giving me Jackson Paulo vibes, and I'm not going through that again. So he better get it together. He really, but I'm sure he'll be fine. But he's just
he's got so much potential.
That was just
but
inexperience,
off game.
like under pressure.
I'll tell you what, it's not easy being a rookie up against the Sharks. Declan Casey will tell you, mate.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, back to the t-shirt before we go to our player of the week. That is from, as I said, the Vintage Thread, who have jumped on as partners. They're on Instagram, Zane, at the Vintage Thread _. Should I spell it out? I might.
Yes.
THEVINTAGETTHREAD. Lots of T's in there. So yeah, shout out to the Vintage Thread. I've got a Matt Burton shirt on that you can get from them. They've got at least one player from every team. So if you're not a Bulldogs or Rabbits fan, you can cop one. But they also do like requests.
Yes.
So if you want a Tai Munro shirt, you can request one.
Get every one of them if I wanted.
Yeah, you can get one of every player.
Especially
Why
go
not?
to the games and put them on whenever they score.
Yeah. Change shirts during the
better
game.
get an Alex Johnston one.
I can get it signed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That'd be sick.
Actually, cut this. I might put it on my story because Latrell will repost it.
Yeah, do it.
No, it's not Indigenous. Probably not.
No, do it.
If it had some Indigenous like painting on it.
Bro, I'll probably sue him for
Yeah,
stealing his
I'll put it on my story.
Yeah.
He sees stories.
Yeah,
Going to be tagged.
like him and Josh Adokar.
Yeah, they all do.
Yeah, sick.
I just got to like put like something Indigenous in the caption.
Just have an Indigenous flag.
But they don't have it as an emoji.
Oh,
That's why they do the hearts. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually kind of.
I'll just add like music or something just to make it put it on his story. But
didgeridoo sounds.
yeah, I know, like Julian did when he got a photo with Cody Walker.
Did he?
Yeah, put didgeridoo sounds just
to make sure he'd repost
And he liked
it.
the story. That's why. Yeah.
All right. Player of the week. Who was yours?
Well, there's an obvious one from a losing team, Ravalaara, but I'm not.
Yeah, he
go
was
with
good.
Him. I'm going to go with. Try and think for all the games again.
My player of the week, while you think about who yours, because I had a tough time picking mine as well, actually, but I've landed on Patrick Carrigan.
I was close. To it. Now that you have, I'm not going to. I'm going to.
Obviously, he scored his second career try 2 weeks in a row, and I thought he just had a really, really good game. And
I'm going to
shout out to him.
Why am I struggling? I'm trying to think through all the games.
Too many good players. There wasn't really any huge standouts.
There's an easy one I have to go. Nathan Cleary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair
He's been
enough.
outstanding in back-to-back weeks now. And I don't think I've picked him all year as my player.
Well, he hasn't played since we started
we've really
this.
done it. But
he's also one of those players where you could probably pick him every week. And
and it's just because he's just consistent.
Yeah.
That's why people say he's overrated because he doesn't have a bad game. He's just the same. He's just good every week. So no one will notice whether he's had a shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Game. That's the same with Tedesco. As well.
Especially maybe not so much
Munster.
this year, but
And Munster.
Munster. And even Yo's getting
Yeah.
to that level as well. Haas.
I'm not a Yo fan, but it is what it is.
There's those players where, they're just that good that there's no point picking them. You got to change it up a little bit.
Yes.
All right, let's get into the games. The first game of the week, Roosters Manly. What'd you make of this?
Boring game that I nearly fell asleep a couple of times, and then there was a send-off which woke me up a bit, and I nearly fell asleep again. That's how I can describe how I was watching this game.
Not a Roosters fan?
Nah.
Not a big Roosters fan?
Congratulations, they won the game, I guess, but they should have won by more than what they did. Unfortunately for that send-off, the margin was a lot closer. But I think Roosters were very dominant in this game.
What did you think of the send-off?
At first, when it happened in full speed, I'm like, he's off here. But rewatching, I'm like, maybe 10 in the bin.
Yeah, I did not think it was a send-off. Yeah. I think he got sent off because he's Nathan Brown.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think 10 in the bin, about that fair enough. And
I don't think any of them were send-offs.
I think there's going to be a recurring theme in this podcast where we're talking about send-offs and how, and even just refereeing in general over the weekend, it wasn't great. Yeah. There was a lot of questionable calls. Yeah,
a shocker.
And I think the issue with the reffing over the weekend was that this set the precedent for the weekend because they sent him off for this tackle.
Yeah,
they had to. But even still, there were tackles.
But the Burgess one was a joke, and some of them biased, but that was the worst one of them all. I think that came. I know he was only sin bin, but I think that was the worst one that was even a sin bin.
Well, we'll
talk about that.
As I said, we're going to come back to all the other ones, but there was one in a later. There was multiple tackles in later games that I thought were worse than this and got less punishment.
Yes.
So
Manly's attack in this game was just stale. Just terrible in attack.
In a must-win game as well. Exactly. It was pretty disappointing.
Schuster had a shocker. Cherry Evans just wasn't using the right players. He was just doing simple moves. He didn't have a good game here. He would be close to having been my disappointing player of the round.
Cherry.
Evans. Yeah, he didn't have a good game here.
Yeah.
Saab was okay, but he let in a few tries and he bombed a few himself. It was just an average game from Manly. And I think it's exactly why they're not playing finals. Well, I don't think they're going to play finals at this point.
Yeah, I think the fact that they lost this game.
I think if they won this game, I'd still give them a decent chance, but I don't think they're going to play finals.
Now that they've lost
the Roosters, they got a fairly easy run in.
Do they?
They do. They got the Dolphins this week. They got the Eels, and then I think they got.
Sorry, can I just? Are you talking up the Roosters, Zane?
I'm talking them up. I'm just.
Zane's on the Roosters bandwagon.
I am saying, I looked at their draw. I'm like, they could possibly so they got
Tigers and South after the teams you said.
At this rate, they could beat South, so they could go undefeated for the rest of the season.
Hainsey might have been onto something when he was on here.
But with the Tigers, we'll talk about soon. But I think they got another win coming for the end of the year. And hope it's that game.
I think Roosters, and it's funny I just mentioned Hainsey because he keeps saying what I'm about to say, but they've just got to take it 1 week at a time.
Exactly.
And
hope for the best.
Genuinely.
They need everything to go their way.
They just need to forget about finals. They just need to focus on winning this week. And then when they get that done, they need to focus on winning the next week.
Even if they do get the 13-11 record, they could still miss the 8.
Yeah, exactly. They need results to go their way.
Exactly.
And it could happen. They got the first job done, which was beating Manly. And as I said, they just got to take it 1 week at a time.
And they're back at Trelliance this week.
There you go. Back at Trelliance this week. They've made a couple of changes. I don't know if they were... Is Sandon Smith... Did he get hurt? Or was he dropped?
I don't think he did.
Because Drew Hutchison's halfback now. So this week. And I liked Sandon Smith.
He had a good game as well, Drew Hutchison.
Yeah.
And all the Roosters fans were very nervous. Yeah, but he had a great game.
Well, he played good enough to steal the halfback spot.
They should have added that.
All right, so we sort of did just speak about. I guess we spoke about both teams' chances, but give me a definitive answer. Roosters top 8. Can they do it? Will they do it?
No, I don't think they will.
Can they?
I'll say it.
They can, but they won't.
They can. I don't think they will.
I agree. They can, but that's my take. They can, but they won't. Yeah.
I don't think they will.
I think for your sake, you hope that they don't lose a game.
Knights need to drop out. Rabbits need to drop out. Raiders, Sharks. I don't think all of them are going to drop out.
I was about to say, for your sake, you'd be hoping that they win the rest of their games up until round 27. And then Souths knock them out.
I see Hainsey always go, Roosters are only 2 points behind Souths. but we're not getting any criticism. They're not getting any criticism, but we are. I'm like, yeah, but look at the for and against, and South still have a bye to come.
I was
we're
about to say,
4 points.
still have a bye.
So do the Eagles
And the Cowboys.
And the Cowboys. So they are a
7th,
lot further
8th,
behind.
9th. Or 8th, 9th, 10th. No,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The 3 teams
The
around 8th
Roosters are
spot.
still a fair bit
Yeah.
behind all those sides.
Yeah. And then Manly, as I said, we sort of did touch on it, but
I don't think they
Done?
will. Yeah. They started off the year well, so it's a real shame. But
and Tommy Turbo getting hurt.
oh yeah,
Always
That's
hurts.
just the nail in the coffin, really.
I feel like they can have a big year next year with Luke Brooks coming.
Yeah, they could. Oh, we'll have to discuss that more
Yeah.
next year, I guess.
Yeah. That's a discussion for later, but Manly fans, just be patient.
Yeah, I agree.
Titans and Warriors, this was actually a pretty good game.
Oh, well, I thought it was a weird game.
It was a weird game, but it was
good.
entertaining.
It was just strange, some of the things that happened.
Yeah.
That was not a send off.
Yeah, let's get straight to this week.
That's
This
the
game
worst send off call we've ever had.
Yeah, I agree.
Ever in the NRL.
Like honestly, you want my hot take? That's not a sin bin. That's
Yeah.
penalty.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was like
I agree.
completely accidental.
I agree.
Like it was just a collision.
Nickel Kluxar got up there, there would be no talk about it.
100%.
Only because he stayed down.
Yeah,
And the other stupid thing that happened here was Nia Corey getting sent to the bin.
yeah.
After he was slapped first by Fafita.
Isn't it?
It's just ridiculous. Like, how
Yeah.
did they mess that up so bad?
He like literally did not start it, and he's the one that ends up in the
No, I
bin,
think
and
that-
not Fafita. Like it wasn't like they both got bin.
No, I don't think
Only
they could send. And
because he tickled
tell
David
me about the
Fafita.
crowd here, how outnumbered the Titans were.
Yeah, this was a Warriors home
And you hear
game
the
on the Gold
announcer
Coast.
at the stadium like, "Come on, Titans fans!" Like, then the Warriors fans would just boo, and all you could hear was that. You couldn't even hear the Titans supporters.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk on the internet after this game as well. A lot of people pointing that out.
Oh yeah,
that
well,
it was just a
the
Warriors
always
crowd.
Seabass always have big crowds when the Warriors play
Apparently, there's a lot of Warriors.
in Gold Coast.
Yeah,
A lot, I know.
which like clearly there is.
But I still think Warriors had another level in them. I don't think they were at their best in this game.
Yeah,
The Titans
that's fair.
showed a lot of heart as well. Just like you'd think normally the Titans would just get thumped after losing one player because of how bad their defense is. Like you'd have
Yeah.
to think they'd normally.
I thought Titans were almost the most impressive team over the weekend because of like
last 2 weeks especially.
the send off
even
happened
against
15 minutes into the
even
game.
against the Cowboys. Like they showed
Yeah.
a lot of heart in that game. Since that shocking Roosters game that they had, they've been
Yeah.
the complete opposite since, which I guess is positive for them going into next year.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it just doesn't cut it at this end of the,
Exactly.
of the
you know.
season.
They always seem to do this at the Titans. They always seem to have a good end to the year. Like,
Yeah.
They did last season as well.
Yeah, they are one of those teams that just finished the year on a high. Hey,
Yeah.
but the promising thing is they
Dez.
got Des coming.
And if they can play like that next year with Dez, Dez normally adds that sort of resilience and heart to his side. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
And
about-
if,
you'd have to
like-
see how what they do with their side next year.
it depends if they can keep Fafita and
I think
Tino
they're
as well.
staying. I think
and
they're
then
both
Ben
gonna stay.
Hunt, obviously, if they can get
Yeah,
him.
if they can get Ben Hunt and along with keeping those two, I think they're definitely top 8.
I was gonna say I'll lock him into the 8 if they can get Ben
Oh
Hunt.
yeah, and if they can't make
And
the
keep
8
those
with
two.
that side, just get rid of them.
Yeah.
Seriously, get rid of them.
Kick him out.
I remember a few years ago when they got the spoon, everyone was saying they're going to get replaced with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And they're just going to go.
Yeah,
You know, they've got him through at the Titans.
they're doing all right.
Like, I think their fans are very patient. They've been waiting a very long time to see him do well again. And they have,
Yeah.
one good year, like every 5 years, where they'll sneak into the 8 and just, scrape in there by luck. But then, apart from that, they're always just 13th, 14th. I
Yeah.
think that's what's going to happen with them again this year. It's just another typical Titans year.
Yeah, yeah. Very well said, Zane. Very well said. Brimson didn't play in this game. He's out injured again this week. Jaden Campbell is your
He's
replacement.
been injured a lot this year.
Who,
It's
Brimo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been out about 3
What
times.
do you make of Jaden Campbell?
I think he's in a similar position to Blake Taff, where he's a starting first grade fullback, but he's not going to get that opportunity at the Titans.
Because it's interesting, especially if they add Ben Hunt.
Exactly.
Like they've
They're
already
gonna
got 4 in
need-
there. They've got Tanner Boyd there. They've got Brimson there. Like, how do you fit them? And they've got like heaps of hookers too.
Oh yeah, they do.
And obviously, like 4
They
and
got good depth in their like spine players.
Yeah.
I know that, but they're very young players. as
yeah,
well.
yeah. They've got that. I
they're
forget his
wingers
name,
as
but they've
well.
got like that schoolboy halfback.
They got good juniors.
I forget his
coming
name.
through. I know that. Very good juniors.
They
coming
did
through.
have the number 1 halfback prospect in rugby league, but they let him go. I don't know why you'd let young Toby Sexton go, but I'm not complaining.
Exactly. You guys let the Dogs go now, so you don't need to worry about
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
the Titans bringing him through. But
No, I think they're in a good spot, hey?
yeah, I think this is the best position the club have looked going into the future. And I think Titans fans even agree that, like, they're not worried about winning right now. They just want the club to show something, and they can see the potential in this side.
Do you reckon if there was no send-off, just back to the game, like, could they have won this?
I reckon they possibly could have.
Like, the Warriors won by 10 points
But I didn't
and
think
scored
their
two
destiny's
and scored 10 points in the last 10 minutes. Like, it was a tied game with 10 to go.
I honestly think the Warriors have a loss coming
Yeah.
before finals.
They've got a pretty soft run.
They do, but I can just see, it's a typical Warriors thing just to bomb a game that they're
I
expecting
feel
to
like
win.
they need to drop a game.
Exactly.
Just
I feel
to,
like all those top
reset.
sides need to.
They've got Tigers, Manly, and Dragons. It's such a soft run into finals. And then Dolphins.
Yeah, you're right.
But, like, there is the age-old saying that you got to lose one to win one.
That's the same. I think it's the same with Penrith and the Broncos. I think
Yeah,
they could
fair.
lose another game before finals time.
And, I think it could be beneficial. Because those three teams, surely, like, are Warriors locked into the top four?
Yeah, and top four, I think, definitely with that.
Because they're only in there by 2.
But I think with that draw, they'll get the wins in the front against they need
Yeah.
to get in there.
And, like, Raiders in 5th, 2 points behind Warriors. They've got a very tough run home.
Come on,
They've got a tough run.
the Raiders.
Like, I think they could drop down a little bit.
They could still miss it altogether.
Yeah. Yeah. Realistically, they could. If they, like, I remember seeing, let's have a look at it. It was,
I
like,
guess we'll get back to the Raiders though.
fair share. Let's come back to the Raiders. So, Warriors, you're locking him into the top 4.
Yes, I don't know about home final for the first week at least.
But if you
second
get
week.
top 4, you get
Yeah.
the second week home final. And then Titans, done. I think
then they won't play finals.
Yeah,
but
they had
I
to
reckon
win
they'll
this
be like
game.
13th, 12th around there. Yeah,
Where are they
about
at the
13th,
moment?
14th. I think they're 13th.
Yeah, I think they'll finish anywhere from 12 to 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And earlier in the year, people were like, "Oh, they could sneak into the 8." But you got to remember, they had all 3 of their buys before everyone else did. That's what I was sitting in 9th.
Yeah.
But now that the rest of the league's caught up, they're in about the right position. Where
You
they
know
should have
someone that said they might make the 8?
been. Yeah, I do.
Anyone come to mind?
Very optimistic about him, wasn't I?
Yeah, but
They've missed
That is what it is.
Bo Famore has been a big loss for him this year.
yeah, that's a fair
Yeah,
shout.
he done his ACL. He'll be big in for him. Joe Simpson's just not that type of player, is he?
He's not as good as Bo.
He could have gone close to playing Origin this year.
Bo.
Famore, yeah,
100%.
for sure. Especially with Tom Gilbert when he got injured.
was really, really good at the end of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is an underrated loss. That's a really good point.
And he'll be good for him next year when he's back.
Yeah, agreed. Let's go to Panthers and Storm, which this one, although the
Storm
winner
got off-
didn't surprise me, I was like, oh, damn.
Just like last time, the Storm got off to a good start, got the lead early, but Panthers just did what Panthers do and just thumped them in the end.
Boy, they're good, aren't they?
Craig Bellamy that was the most shocked I've ever seen him after a game.
Yeah.
Because his entire career, he's been like the peak, like the top team in the league.
Yeah.
And this is I think the first time in his career where he's had a team that is just immensely better than he is. And
Yeah.
he did not know how to respond to it. He was like, wow.
And like a lot of people say that they were missing Hughes, but
I still think
he's
they
not
would-
worth 20
I still
points.
think they would have lost.
Yeah,
this game
agreed.
without
Like
him.
they lost by 20.
They did.
He's not making up 20. And like Jonah Pezzett, I rate.
I
love Jonah Pezzett.
I really don't think anyone's going to be beating the Panthers at this point.
They look unbeatable.
They do.
Although
I know,
there's a few injuries going around apparently. Like,
Yeah,
could
there is
that
at the
sort
moment,
of
but
stump the season for
That's a
them?
good thing for them. It means they're going to be fresh, ready for
That
finals.
is true. They could literally, like, what is there, 4 weeks to go?
Yeah.
Four games to go if you don't have a bye. They could just rest those injured players for 4
It's
weeks.
something they would
Still
do.
get top 4 and then just
Like I
run
remember
home.
last year, we're very optimistic. We're like, oh, this team could challenge them, but I think deep down we all knew they were going to win.
Yeah.
Pretty early on last year. And I think it's the same this year. People are like, oh, this team could compete with them, but I think we're going to get to the grand final and realise,
There's teams that
we'll
can compete with them, but is there teams that can beat
No.
them realistically?
I feel like we're going to get to the grand
Yeah.
final and be like, we shouldn't have been that
It was like
optimistic about
last
it.
year
Yeah.
when at the start of grand final week, everyone was like, Panthers, easy win. And then as the week progressed,
Yeah.
everyone was like, oh, the Eels are
I
a
feel
chance.
like that could happen again.
And then by the time the game rolled around, everyone was like, oh, like Eels, huge chance to win this one, and then they lost by like however much they lost by.
Penrith thumped them in this game.
And
That
yeah,
game
the same
was
thing
one
could
of the
happen.
boringest grand finals I've ever seen. There's nothing interesting
Good
about.
first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know, but Penrith's just.
That's what
clicked.
Panthers do, though, isn't it? The first 20 minutes, they just get into that grind,
That's when
and then they
Coruscant
just
came
go.
on the field.
Yeah,
Like in the prelim, when Coruscant came on the field, it just completely turned around. But they
And-
don't have that this year as well. I'm
Yeah.
coming up with excuses to why I think Penrith might lose, but it'll make me look really stupid in the end. Like when they win all their semi-finals games by about like 16 points, 20 points, I'll be like, okay, whatever.
yeah. Anyone that's saying that, like, I don't think there is anyone that's saying Panthers can't win the comp. But if you don't think they're like
are
99% likely to win it, you're an
I
idiot.
think they're 99% going to win it.
Yeah, like there's
And it's a shame. Like, I want to see someone else win. I'd love to see the Warriors win. But I
there's
just don't
three
think-
teams that I think can beat Panthers, and I don't.
at
And
their
one of those
best or,
teams
like as of right now.
at their best, as of right now, no
one.
If anyone wants to beat Panthers, they need to catch Panthers on a bad day. Like Panthers need to be like at
in the
90%
in the rain.
or in the rain. But then number two, they have to be there literally
Yeah.
perfect to beat them as well.
Exactly. And who are those three teams?
Broncos,
Yes.
South Sydney,
Yes.
and the third team, the Eels. And I don't even think they're making finals.
Exactly.
And so
So you don't think the
two-
Warriors can beat them?
No.
Neither can I.
As much as I'd
I
love
just
the Warriors
don't
to beat
think
them.
like in a finals game they can in Australia.
Yeah.
Like maybe in New Zealand, the crowd they could get over them.
That's
but
the other thing. I don't think anyone can beat them at Penrith.
it's not even there. Just in Sydney in
Yeah,
general.
but like Panthers are guaranteed pretty much guaranteed a home final week one. They're winning that game. They go to a home prelim. They're winning that game. Like I don't care who they're versing. and so then it's a grand final.
This man.
This
man.
Can Tromit do it?
Well, he owned them last time we played.
Looked
didn't
pretty
he?
good on the weekend, didn't he?
Yeah, well, not this weekend, but round 8 when we last played them, he was the saving grace hero. in
That's
that
what I
game.
mean though. Like that's what I'm saying. Like as of right now, South Sydney aren't at their best and they can't beat Panthers right now. But
A lot
at their best,
a lot
they
of
can.
journalists are still very skeptical that they can turn it around. But
Who,
we'll
South?
get to them.
They
soon.
can.
We'll get to
Yeah.
them. Like
On the flip side, that's enough hyping up the Panthers. What about the Storm? How are they looking?
I don't know. Like they have like good games, and then they have a game like this where they'll get pumped by 20, and it's just really surprising. Then the next week they'll come out and win really well. They're just inconsistent. That's the
I
thing.
feel like they're sort of in the same position that Eagles were last year, where
Yeah.
they could throw a bunch of games together, but then they'd drop one.
Yeah, they
and
really
the question
do remind
is,
me of the Eels from
can
last
they
year.
put together 4 games come finals, which is what
I
Eels
don't
managed
think
to
they
do.
can.
Well, the Eels put together 3.
I think
but-
even if Pappenhausen comes back, I don't think they can.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to win 4 big games in a row. Or
That's the thing. It's going to be 4 big games, and that'll be tough. Pappenhausen, did you watch? See
no,
anything
I
of it?
saw some highlights though.
Yeah, he went all right. He's named to go again for the Falcons
Yeah.
this weekend. What is it? There's 4 weeks left. I'm just trying to think like when
Bring
does
them
he?
back at the right time, obviously.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. It'll be very interesting to see. What do you think? If you're the
I reckon
Storm, what do you do?
I reckon there's a world where they bring him back on the bench for a game or two, and then transition.
That's what I'm thinking. I
Transition
think-
him back in the fullback.
I think it's almost a certainty that's what they're doing. I'm just trying to work out when do they name him on the bench? Like
I'm gonna
a
have
couple
I'm
more
gonna have a
weeks.
look at their draw.
That's
See,
a good
like
idea.
if they play a big team, I don't think they will.
Like there's 4 more games. I'd imagine they go. I was thinking at least 2 cup games, which is the second one's this
I
week.
reckon 3.
Maybe a third, and then play him on the bench. So who do they
Okay,
play?
They play Raiders this week, Dragons at Wynn Stadium next week,
And then who?
then Titans in Melbourne, then Brisbane
I
at
reckon
Suncorp.
Titans in Melbourne's the one to bring him back on the bench. I
Maybe even
reckon.
Dragons in Wollongong.
Yeah,
That'd be
If
exciting,
you want to
though.
be safe though,
That would be
Oh,
exciting to see him return.
For,
at
for
Wollongong.
me, that and knew because I'd go and
Yeah.
watch the return
Then
of Pats.
Imagine if he like hurts himself right us again. I'll be like, oh no,
What do you mean again?
hurt himself again.
Oh, I thought you meant hurt himself in front of us.
Oh,
and I
no,
was like,
no,
what do you
just
mean, mate?
hurt himself
We're
again.
not out here sniping Ryan Papenhausen.
I can see they're not going to bring him back this week, not against Jack Wyden. I think he's got PTSD from him.
Yeah,
100%,
definitely.
yeah.
Maybe they were going to bring him back this week and realised they're playing Jack White.
Yeah,
they were like,
better
nah,
not do
not
that."
again. Too risky.
Exactly.
Way too risky. It's been like over a year. It's
I know, it's
wild.
been ages. since
Think
he's played.
look at it this way, though. You look at Ryan Pappenhausen's injury. I think it's 370 days or something.
Yeah.
So call it 13 months. Adam Dewey's injury is 18 months. So, like, think of how long it's been since Pappenhausen has played and then add 5 months to it. That's
Adam
how
Dewey, I know.
poor bloke. Hey,
know.
not to that was a bit of a side swipe at him, bit off topic, but I just like that's such a long injury.
For Adam Dewey, I know.
Yeah,
But he's
that's
still getting
right.
paid a shit ton of money, so...
That's true. He's still
He's a
getting his
lucky
money.
man.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's like Ryan Papenhuyzen had just signed his big deal and then got hurt.
Yeah, then he got to play cricket as well.
Yeah.
For the Celebrity All-Star side.
Yeah. All right. We said. Did we say that? Did I ask you where I think where you think Storm are going to finish?
I said 4th.
You reckon? So you reckon top 4 still, and then but not a premiership.
Yeah. Okay,
premiership
4th.
threat.
Yeah, they are, but I don't think.
But you don't think they?
Nah. Like you can definitely say they're a threat. Like, do you not think they're one of the sides
Yeah,
that can
nah.
beat Penrith
Not at the
in
moment.
that category?
They need Paps back. As they are right now, I don't think so.
Okay.
But I guess if they're at their absolute best, yeah. But I don't see them being at
Okay.
their absolute best.
Okay.
They're just too inconsistent. Hey,
Yeah.
like they just lost 26-6 to Panthers. You know what I mean?
With players out, obviously. But
yeah, I know.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Oh yeah, I guess they can beat Panthers, but I also just don't see them beating Panthers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Queensland Derby, Zane, or Derby. Is it Derby or Derby?
It's both.
You tell me.
I call it Derby.
I was calling it one of them on my TikTok last week, and then I was like, which one is it?
Is it Derby? I
Yeah.
just call it Derby.
Derby/Derby.
And I watched the majority of this game before, there was a lot of drama happening online during this game, which we're not going to mention here, but because it's someone who's blacklisted in this community. But, I thought it was a very good game.
Yeah, this was. I was going to say game. It was one of the more entertaining games of
Reece
the
Walsh
week.
was outstanding. And the Broncos as a whole, without Adam Reynolds, I thought they'd crumble earlier in the year. I said if Reynolds goes, they crumble, but that's definitely not the case.
Isn't this a confidence booster?
Absolutely.
Having like a big win like that without Adam Reynolds.
For sure it is.
And I feel like the scoreboard almost makes the Cowboys look a little bit better than they were. The Cowboys did have good moments in patches. They were very patchy in this game, but for the most part, Broncos just dominated it.
Oh, yeah.
And just weren't finding points.
Yeah, and the Cowboys, look, they're okay. They weren't terrible, but they're okay. But they need, they're on, I think are they in the 8 at the moment?
Yes. They're in 10th.
Okay.
But they have a bye. So at the moment, it's 8th. It's 7th Knights, 8th Rabbits, 9th Eels, and Cowboys are 10th. Rabbits, Eels, Cowboys, all on the same points.
I can't believe.
And all have a bye.
I can't believe the Knights are above the Rabbitohs. I
By
seriously
1
cannot
point,
believe.
by that
No, but I
draw.
just seriously cannot believe, just with how the season's gone, that the Knights are above
Rabbits
the Rabbitohs.
sucks, Zane. I think
They
you just got to
do,
accept that.
It's just, I can't believe Knights are higher than us. I really can't.
And Sharks and Raiders.
Well, yeah, I guess.
And Warriors.
You can say, Warriors, but Raiders, we all know they're overachieving. We're going to need to get the Raiders tonight. We really want to talk about them, don't we?
You seem very keen to talk about the Raiders.
Got a lot to say about them.
I don't want to sit here and bash the Raiders. I'm on the bandwagon.
Just
Up the
stuff
milk.
that's happened with the club over the weekend and decisions they've made. And
Yeah, we'll get to it. But yeah, back to Broncos Cowboys. Obviously, the Cowboys, they're in 10th. They're in and around that 8th spot. They've got the bye.
Broncos locked in top 2, you reckon?
Yeah. Yeah, lock them into the top 2.
And possibly minor premiership.
Yeah. Well, they've got the bye, which is
Yeah,
very
they do.
interesting.
And they have a terrible record against the Storm in Suncorp.
Yeah, that is true. But I think even if they drop that game, which they could because Storm have a good record at Suncorp, that because of their bye, that would put them back equal with Panthers. Do you know what I mean? Because they're equal at the moment. Broncos are going to jump to 2 points ahead of Panthers with the bye. So they can afford to lose one. I guess if they lose one, they go back below the Panthers because of for and against. But I think there's a world where Panthers drop a game as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. You think
'Cause they
that
rest
Cowboy
players.
game. But do you reckon if Broncos lose the night before, Panthers could play all their players just to get, or just half of them?
I
at
don't
least?
think Panthers care about it. They've got,
But I feel like they
they've got
might.
enough prize money from the last couple of years.
I feel like they still might play that game.
I feel like they want a premiership and they know that
I reckon
to
if
give them
Broncos lose that game the night before,
I
I
don't
reckon
reckon.
Panthers will.
I don't reckon because they know that their best chance
Actually,
at
no,
a premiership
Thursday
is
night.
resting players.
Thursday night the Broncos play because South play that Friday
Yeah,
night
okay.
against East.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think
When have I ever called them East?
East.
I call them Roosters. Don't do it. I hate hearing it.
East.
I hate hearing that.
But yeah, that's Broncos Cowboys. Cowboys, are they going to make the finals?
Ooh. Yes, and Raiders drop out.
Hang on, I want to have a look at my ladder predictor.
I'm going to say yes, and Raiders drop out.
I don't really. Raiders dropping out.
Yes.
They're pretty.
I
The
don't
thing
know.
is, they're in there though. They're deep in there.
They are. but
NRL ladder predictor. That's like because Raiders are on 30 points. Like they're equal with Storm. The way my ladder predictor is at the moment, I got Cowboys missing out.
So you do really?
I got Raiders coming
Cowboys
sixth.
missing.
Yeah,
That is big.
I've got Eels coming equal 8th with the Sharks. And then, so that's like based off for and against, someone will jump through, which like their for and against is quite close. But yeah, I've got Cowboys missing out. I think, hang on, I want to have a look. Do they play Sharks this week or next week?
No, Titans play Sharks this week.
So next week.
They do,
That's
yeah.
the game that's going to dictate who. Yeah, so on the ladder predictor, I've got Sharks beating Cowboys in that game. So that'll be a big game because if Cowboys win that, they'd jump in.
Yeah. Yeah, yes, that is correct.
You got to keep in mind as well, like that's my ladder predictor, and I suck at tipping, and that's based
I
on
just think
my tips all
Cowboys
being
have
right.
to be there. I just really think they have to be. And I don't think the Raiders deserve to be there.
That's like you look at Eels and Cowboys; they're two teams that could contend with Panthers.
Yeah.
More so than
You'd
teams
have
like
to
the
think they
Knights
should
and
be there
Sharks.
over the Knights and the Raiders.
Yeah, and even Sharks,
Don't deserve to be there.
like they've
So
been
you think the
pretty
Roosters-
average.
Roosters should get in instead.
No, I think.
Who then?
I guess yeah. Out of Raiders, Sharks, and Knights, Raiders and Knights probably the least deserving. I don't know. Raiders have been all right. They've been all right,
They just can't win.
but they get the job done.
Yeah, they get it done, but
They get it
I just
done.
don't think they deserve to be potentially
If you're getting the
top
job
four,
done,
top
good on
four
you.
potentially. Jeez, I can't talk today.
Zane's on fire. He's been thrown off by the Troll Mid shirt. You're in all sorts.
What's that brand called again?
Which one?
That made the shirt.
The vintage mode.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh, you're tagging him.
Yeah.
No. The vintage thread.
Yeah, I was gonna say
underscore.
mode.
Not vintage. That's a different one. Yeah, you look at this week, Storm Raiders play each other. If Raiders win that game, they're into the top 4, and then you have to stop sleeping on them. And they can beat Melbourne. They've done it before.
They are in Melbourne as well.
Yeah, they love that. But let's move on. Cowboys. So as we said, Broncos lock them into the top 2. They're still a good chance of getting minor premiers as well. And then Cowboys. So you think they'll make it?
Who?
Cowboys.
Yeah, I think they should make it.
But do you
I
think
don't
they
know.
can? Do you think they will?
Yes, I reckon they will. And
Because
Raiders will
I think
drop
they
out.
should
And
as
I'm
well,
gonna
but I don't
stick
think
with
they
that.
will.
I'm going to stick with that. The
Raiders drop out,
and the
Cowboys go
make
in.
it.
Dolphins, Knights. This was a cracker game.
Was it though? I didn't
I
really
thought it
watch.
was.
I didn't watch too much of it. I only saw Bennett's press conference after it.
Yeah, that was a good press conference.
Oh, I've got something in my throat. Jeez, I'm having a bad day today, aren't I?
This is one of the great podcast performances ever.
Oh, yeah.
This is like Joey 2005, but of podcasts.
Oh, is it?
Just
Really?
really, really good. It's like Luke Brooks against the Panthers earlier this year. But
Yeah, out of nowhere.
podcast form. Yeah, just out of nowhere, you're having a blinder of a
Sexton
podcast.
against the Rabbitohs.
Sexton against the Rabbitohs. Great example.
Trollman against the Bulldogs.
In Good Friday.
Round 6, yeah.
Yeah, always plays good, but just phenomenal that day.
Yeah.
That's what you're like, mate.
Love that he got to score 3 tries in front of all the
Oh,
Dogs.
please shut up. Actually, you know what? Let's jump to the Souths game. How'd they go on the weekend, Zane?
26.
Dolphins, Knights. The Knights beat the Dolphins 30-28. Knights were
I didn't watch too much of this game, I'll be honest. So take it away, Winston.
Knights were doing what they've done all year, and that's bloody playing some good rugby league. They were up. It was only 6. Yeah, it was only 6-0, but they were
Dolphins led at one point.
Yeah, so Knights were up 6-0, but were dominating. And then somebody got sin binned. Lachlan Fitzgibbon sin binned 22nd minute. And then Jermaine Asako scored 3 tries in 7.5 minutes.
He did.
And
I heard about
put
that.
the Dolphins ahead by quite a little bit. Although Jermaine Asako, I want to say, the Bulldogs might have cursed the bloke because he can't goal kick. He is dead set forgotten how to goal kick.
He was really good early in the year as
He
well.
was good until his last kick against the Bulldogs that he missed to win the game. He was down by a point, missed the goal from the sideline, lost the game, and he ended up giving up kicking duties in this game.
He did.
He gave it to Sean O'Sullivan.
I know. Yeah.
So he missed the first 2 goals. Oh, he kicked the last one, so he took him back. But yeah, bit of confidence rattled there for young Jermaine, but he did get the hat trick in 7.5 minutes, which I don't know if it's the fastest hat trick ever, but it'd be up there.
Yeah, it'd have to be
I
up
remember
there for
Pappy
sure.
scored 3 or 4 against the Broncos in like 11 minutes.
Yeah, I think Oh, there was one with Dave Fafita against Souths. I know that. That would have to be close as well. But I
Yeah.
think this one has to be it.
It'd be up there.
But Knights just got the job done here.
Yeah, so obviously they ended up winning by 2 points.
You thought they were good?
Yeah, they
They were good enough, obviously.
they weren't as good as they have been, but like, yeah, they were good.
Like,
I think Dolphins were good.
I think the steam will eventually run out of the Knights. Like, I think they'll make finals, but I think their run will come to an end.
I said it last week to be smoky, and I'll say it again. Dogs will beat them this weekend.
You reckon?
Dogs will beat them.
Yeah, okay.
They'll beat them.
Okay,
They beat us 66-0 earlier, and we're going to get a bit of revenge. I'm telling you, trust me. I've said it this is on record. Like I said it last week, and I'm saying it again. The Knights,
And you will say it again later on when we give our predictions.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. But yeah, the Knights, like as you said, they got the job done. They got the 2 points. They're inside the top 8 now, ahead of the South Sydney Rabbitohs. So, like, good on them. But what is their run home like? Do you know? Because they play obviously Bulldogs this week, which will be
Rabbitohs,
tough.
Then I think
Rabbitohs at home.
They do,
which will be interesting.
Now I think maybe they got
Sharks at home.
Yeah, I knew they had the Sharks.
That'll be another good game.
Round 27.
And then Dragons.
Dragons.
That's a decent run.
Yeah, it's decent enough.
Like I feel like if they, like based on where they are at the moment,
if they lose to the Dogs this weekend, they could still like fall out of the 8.
I guess with Rabbits, Eels, and Cowboys having a bye, technically they're below all those teams because they're only 1 point ahead of them.
They'll need another one of those teams to lose.
So I feel like they still need to win 2 or 3. And like you'd assume Dragons guaranteed. Bulldogs, they're not going to beat the Bulldogs.
I think the Dragons have another win coming soon.
Yeah, so yeah, like I'm not locking the Knights in.
Yeah, a lot of people are though. That's the thing.
And they can be very hot and cold. So like if they drop the game to the Bulldogs, for example, then they run into Souths and Sharks. They could drop them too easily, and that's a game over, really, because not only are they losing games, they're losing to the teams that are around them. Like Souths and Sharks are around the Knights. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
So
they're not a lock in yet.
No way. But do you think they'll make the 8?
Yes. I just hope they do. It would be really good for the Knights to make the finals.
I want to have a look at my trusty ladder predictor. Yeah, I've got them in the 8.
Where do you have South on that?
5th. I've got them going on a run, I guess.
If you got them going undefeated.
That's me. I've got Knights inside the 8 if they beat the Bulldogs. If they beat the Bulldogs this weekend, though. So, and I actually genuinely think that
Dogs will win. Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Just a feeling, mate.
But
just
the next game is...
Dolphin season over.
Yeah. It is.
You know what? Shout out to the Dolphins, though. They exceeded expectations.
They did. But I think reality's setting in now where they really are at.
Yeah.
Like, they're not getting hammered in games, but they're like... Yeah, they're not winning.
The last 2 weeks, they should have won both those games.
They're just not winning. That's
yeah.
Like, lost that winning, experience, if you know what I mean, that they had earlier in the year.
It's funny, though, because they're bottom 4 now, and it looks like they're probably going to land there.
Yeah.
Unless they can jump Titans, I guess. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, at the start of the season, I guess, where did you think? Second last?
Yeah, I had them second last.
Like, bottom 4, and that's sort of where they're going to end up. But they've gone the hard way about it. Like, they were deep in the 8 for a little bit.
At one point, I know.
They were, like, deep in the top 4. All right, yeah. South Sharks. You're up. Analyse this thing for me.
You watched the game?
I saw the game.
Give me your assessment of it. I sound like Wayne Bennett there, don't I?
Yeah, you're refusing to answer the questions.
Yeah.
Nah, we
were horrific. Terrible, rubbish, garbage. All of the words. 26-0. That South, they've done so much times this year, have just come out of nowhere and scored a few quick tries.
They didn't even deserve to.
No, they didn't.
The commentator, I watched on Fox League, and
I watched it on 9.
Vossi said so many times, like, when they kept scoring, he was like, they're not, like, they're still in this game, but they don't deserve to be.
They said that on 9.
Yeah,
which is a good assessment. Game.
Who?
Gus.
Hell yeah.
Who had to write us off and now had to listen to each other. I was like, I was saying this during the week. Souths look nowhere near beating the side. I said the Sharks would win. First of all, you didn't, Gus. You tipped the Rabbitohs. And then you decided you changed to Sharks because you believe Souths aren't there. So don't lie about that.
Zane calls out Gus. That's now the clickbait title of this podcast.
We're not going to have forwards next week. Like Burgess, which we'll get to, that was a joke of a thin bin, that.
Do you reckon he hit him high?
And we missed this with the Storm and Panthers game, the Jerome Luai
Oh,
one.
thank you. Let's circle back to that. Please.
How was that?
Remember earlier in the podcast, and if you're watching, pretend like a little record scratch played. Maybe, you know what? I might even try and edit. I'm going to forget, obviously, but I want to edit what I said earlier, alluding to a later incident that I thought was worse. Jerome Luai on Nelson Asafa Solomona.
So tell me, like, why the Burgess one was a sin bin, but that one wasn't.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, let's turn the tables. What if Nelson had done that to Luai? What happens?
Mate, you look at... After the Nathan Brown one, I tweeted saying he's only been sent off because he's Nathan Brown.
So
and then
Nelson done that to Luai, would he have been sent off?
Well, just let me cook. Yes. So I was in some discussions about like what should warrant a send off and stuff. And I said that it should be really, really, really bad things. Like, for example, the spear tackle, like Cleary against Eels last year.
Oh, yeah.
Just doesn't, like,
or
that's,
Kennedy Sherrington on the weekend.
Yeah.
People complain about that send-off, but she was sent off as she should have been.
We're coming back to that. I've got that in the podcast notes to do our little NRLW wrap-up. So, like, spear tackles are really bad. Or intentional stuff. Like, a punch is intentional, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or an intentional high tackle.
Yeah.
Jerome Luai's tackle, in my opinion,
was
intentional because the way it's playing out, and I'll try and include a photo. I always say I'm going to include stuff and I don't. I'll try and remember. Nelson Asafa Solomon is being held up in the tackle and Luai can either go in at the waist or go in at the head. He has a choice. And he goes in at the head, which means he's actively choosing to hit him high.
I know.
And it was a shoulder charge. In my opinion, he wasn't charged for a shoulder charge, but I thought it was a shoulder charge.
What did Graham Ansley answer that with? That was fine.
Yeah, well, he said he got charged for a high tackle, grade one high tackle.
But if Nelson had done that to Jerome, he would have been sent off the field.
100%.
I know.
It's just a joke.
But we'll go back to Tom Burgess now. That was not even a penalty.
Yeah.
Hit him in the chest, and again, it's just because he's Tom Burgess. That is the only
reason.
I
feel like penalties play on because he bounced up into the head.
But still, it's because he's a big,
I know what you see.
He's a big boy. Like, he can't help that. Like, so is Tom Hazelton, but... Like, if it wasn't Tom Burgess, there would not have been a big drama there.
Yeah.
Like, if Latrell did it, obviously it'd be an even bigger blow-off if Latrell had done that.
I just hate the inconsistency over the weekend. You look at the Nathan Brown incident, who was it in the Titans game again?
Oh, Fodawaker.
It was Fodawaker. You look at the Luai incident, the Tom Burgess incident. There was plenty of other ones as well.
Yeah, we'll get to
and there's no consistency at all. Like, at all. At least as I said earlier, the first one happened and that set the precedent for the rest of the weekend. At least just send everyone off then. At least there's consistency. They stopped sending them off.
It was a ridiculous penalty, to say the least. But Sharks were really good in this game.
Yeah, Sharks were phenomenal.
We've been criticising them, but they came out and had a blinder. And I even called it last week. I'm like, I can see the Sharks playing really well here because they've lost 3 in a row this season on the line, and it's exactly what they did.
Yeah, 100%. Like 26-0 up.
South could not keep up with them.
And they deserve to win 13+.
What do you think's gone wrong with South?
I don't think there's anything.
I can give you my assessment of what I think's gone wrong.
You're the South fan.
So, we had Latrell out for a long period of time, especially Origin. So I was just very optimistic. I'm like, we'll get everyone back. We'll be good. We haven't looked good any better since he's came.
He's played 2 games.
I believe it's because the players believe that as well. When he comes back, they'll be a lot better, and they're depending on him and waiting for him to provide everything, and they're not putting in the hard work themselves.
I've said since he got hurt, and you probably remember because I said it literally every week that Souths are too dependent on Latrell Mitchell.
They are, and that game to me proved it.
And when they didn't have Latrell Mitchell, they just looked lost. And then when Latrell Mitchell's playing but he's not getting involved or he's having a bad day, they look lost. They are way too dependent on him.
He gives them confidence, I know that, but it looks like he's made them too overconfident and that they're just throwing him the ball at any time, waiting for him and Cody Walker to provide something and then, going in and celebrating. They don't seem to... Like, the forwards were rubbish in this game. All of them. Except Harvey, because you can't get him on his back.
They're just so...
You notice that?
Yeah.
He's always I look closely every time he runs the ball. I'm like, is he going to get there? And there's times where it looks like he's going to, but he falls to the side and will get back to
I've heard the Cast Patrol boys talk about that before.
Just watch him closely every time he runs. He never goes on his back.
And once you hear it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, you can't unsee it. I'm serious. I look every time he runs. He will never get on his back.
But
sometimes he will go on his bum, but he will never go on his back.
Never back. They're too reliant on Latrell. Yes. And it can be a good thing because if Latrell's firing, like he was earlier in the season, when they looked unbeatable, he was firing.
Like in one of these games within the next few weeks.
And the reality is, he needs to.
And surely the Dragons is this game where they like really.
I know,
Go back in
man.
the
Dragons beat him earlier in the year.
They did, but Trell didn't play in that game, and he was sitting on the sideline, and he looked pissed.
Yeah, true.
He looked angry. He wanted to get out there.
And he has those teams where when he decides that he's like, have you seen The Last Dance, the Bulls documentary with Michael Jordan, who's like, I took that personally, and then he just like chooses when he just actually wants to really dominate.
Yeah.
Latrell sort of gives me that vibes. I remember I was reading something earlier in the year where he said he enjoys playing against the Bulldogs because they like snubbed him when he was younger. And so he like makes an effort to be good against the Bulldogs, and he literally just always kills us. And that's half the reason I hate him. And so like maybe he does decide like,
It's the same with the Roosters.
I'm
when he
taking it
plays the
personally
Roosters
and plays
as
this.
well.
Yeah.
Like he loves playing the
And
Roosters.
so maybe he turns it on this week against the Dragons if he thinks back to sitting on the sideline. So yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think they need to beat the Dragons. Need to.
If we don't win this game, I'm done. I'm done with the season. I'm dead serious. If
Like
we
we're
don't
in
win
your
this game,
eighth. Like if you lose to the
we
Dragons,
could
you
miss
probably fall
literally-
out of the eight.
This will be worse than the Broncos last year if we miss the 8. You reckon?
Yeah.
Absolutely, it
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't be able.
You're not as high as the Broncos were though.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have words if we missed the 8.
Yeah.
I literally would not know what to say.
You were high though, hey. You were killing it.
We
looked unbeatable. When you beat
Mate,
Panthers,
unbelievable.
you
Like
peaked.
it's ridiculous that we're even 8th at the moment. Not even going to finish top 4. Like, I just can't believe it.
There was a couple of weeks ago you were adamant you were going to finish top 4.
Oh, I
How
think
you
most
feeling
people
now?
were.
How are you feeling now?
No, we're not making top 4. Unless, mathematically we probably still could, but no.
But when you say mathematically, the season's over.
No, it's not happening. We'll probably need Storm to lose to this team and this team to lose by this much and, all that rubbish.
Did you see the Bulldogs one where it's like...
Yeah, I know.
So like
I swear I saw that like 2019 as well.
I did the math and I was like, I did the ladder predictor and I tried all these different scenarios and I was like, oh, we can't make it anymore. But then somebody's come out and said, if we win all our games by like 50 or whatever, and then there's 14 different results that have to go our way. So there's 4 weeks left. There's 8 games per week. What's 4 times 8?
It is
32?
32.
So nearly half the games remaining, we have to have a certain result to make the finals. Or draws, I guess. But yeah, that's like...
Draws would be helpful.
Mathematically, when you say mathematically,
means
you're done.
no chance at all. I mean, like, if the Raiders and Warriors or whatever finish top 4, like, there could still be a team from outside the top 4 that could go on a run. Because I think those teams are pretty beatable.
Where do you think Souths finish? Like, do you reckon they make the 8 and can they win the comp?
5th and... No, I don't think they can win the comp. However...
Oh, damn.
I'm optimistic, yes. They probably still could. Because they came 7th last year and they made the prelim.
Yeah.
And they were up against Penrith.
Do
in that
they?
game
Can
as
they?
well.
Will they?
They can, but don't think they will.
There you go.
That's my response.
But you hope they do.
Yeah, I'm just
I hope
biased
they
and
don't.
optimistic about them.
I mean,
But like they were terrible in that game against the Sharks. Like really,
yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Like, there's no sugarcoating it. They were
No,
bad.
they were terrible.
And there's been a couple of those games this year
From
where
South.
you've sat here and you're going like, what was
Like
that?
the Cowboys won,
Yeah.
the Eels won,
Yeah.
even like the Storm game, like earlier in the year.
Yeah.
I don't think is there any more where we've just been hopeless.
Yeah, that's like, the Cowboys.
The Dogs game was
and
like,
Eels ones
yeah,
are like
we had-
relatively.
the Dogs game we had everyone out.
You don't
like,
count that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess when we lost to the Roosters, that was disappointing. When we lost to the Panthers round 2,
Yeah, I think the Eels and Cowboys ones. That Cowboys one, that was pretty
was
recent
terrible.
as well.
Yeah, that was terrible. That game as
That's
well.
when you said that you deserved a medal for sitting
Oh yeah,
through
that
it.
was terrible. That was like the worst game I went to live though.
Yeah.
like I wasn't at this game live.
Didn't fly to
The
Perth.
poor blokes who flew to Perth.
Yeah.
They're still together. Like they've been camping together and they're in Cairns now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh, do you play in Cairns next?
Yes.
Far out, it's a
then
road
we're,
trip.
Then we're in Newcastle because
Nah, you know what? Nah.
the World Cup had stolen our stadium.
I'm
so-
going to say it. As a non-South fan. You talk about the bad draws, and a lot of people say Eels have the worst draw, and I think they do. But why is nobody talking about how dumb this South draw is? Like this road trip. It's
No,
actually ridiculous.
It's because the World
I
Cup
know,
we don't have
but
a stadium.
It's like still, I think that's not okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty unfair.
And these are all our home games as well.
That's what I mean.
Like
It's-
earlier in the year, we had most of our away games. Now, these games away are our home games.
It's like a proper road trip.
I know.
Like, are they coming back to Sydney and then flying to Cairns?
I
Or do they go
think
straight
so.
to
I
Cairns?
think they're back in Sydney now.
It's interesting. I mean, shout out to the Warriors. They did it for 2 years.
Yeah, they did.
So you can,
Well,
bit of
Demetrio says the
perspective.
boys play better when they're together going travelling as a group.
right.
But that doesn't seem to be the case.
yeah,
at
they
this-
played
at
pretty
the
good on the
moment,
weekend,
does
didn't
it?
they, Jason?
Yeah, Jason.
What about Sharks? Can they make the 8? Will they make the 8? Can they win the comp? Will they win the comp?
I think I said if they won this game, I think they will make the 8.
I just want to double check. Yeah, I've got them making the 8.
Yeah.
Because they won
I
this
think
game.
they'll go out in the first week. Wait, who will they play in your finals?
Depends where they finish.
Yeah, where do you have them finishing?
8th, I think. Yeah, I'd have been
So
8th.
you had Bunnies 5th.
Yeah, so there you go.
So you think
Rematch.
I reckon Bunnies.
Eliminate.
I reckon
And they
Bunnies
played
will-
last year in the finals as well.
Yeah, but I reckon Sharks can't win in finals, can they?
They didn't last year. Yeah, I don't know. They haven't won a finals game in over at least nearly 2 years at least.
Yeah, no, more than that. It's been
Yeah.
like since 2018. I
Yeah,
think.
maybe. So I don't know.
But the last finals game they won was that one point game against Penrith.
I said before this weekend that I had a look at the draw and they had to win 3 games.
Yeah.
Out of the 5, they've won 1. I know they play the Knights, they play Titans this week, and they play Raiders round 27.
Okay.
So there's a couple of winnable games, and as I said, they just had to win 3.
Yeah.
So if they beat Titans this week, Raiders round 27, although they are a bit of a they do
Raiders
drop
have a
some
good
games.
record against
Yeah,
them,
they
though.
drop some games against the Raiders. So you never know. But then even sure, if they play the way they did on the weekend, they could beat Knights.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think Sharks make the 8. And this is we did this last week. I don't know if you noticed. I went through every team. Can they? Will they? And I'm going to do it for the rest of the year because it changes week to week.
No.
It's funny as last week I was like, nah, Sharks are done, and now it's like, oh
Yeah, no, I
Sharks
think they
are in.
make finals, but I don't think they'll go far.
yeah, I think they're almost week 1 knockouts.
Yeah,
to be honest.
sadly.
And yeah, the way my ladder goes, it's to the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Now, you know who else won't be? You know who won't be week 1 knockouts, in my opinion? The Dragons and the Eels. I think they're both missing the 8. But
Yeah, Ravalaara, my God, what a game. 4 tries, and then he also let in a few and bombed a few.
if you want to Rav a shirt, jump on the vintage thread
Yeah.
and cop one.
Dragons
graphic
just got
tee.
unlucky in this game, didn't they?
Yeah.
They had them. They had them.
What was
They
it,
had
20
this
to
win.
10?
Yeah.
And then the try that ended up being no try where Gutho
Stripped
didn't
it, yeah.
strip it, I guess.
Joke.
What do you think he stripped it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Even Eels fans were saying that he stripped it.
Yeah.
So
And there's not much I can say about this game. Dragons just got unlucky, really, and the Eels weren't at their best.
yeah.
I had to listen all week. Dylan Brown's back. He didn't provide too much, did he?
I said all week, I tipped the Dragons because
You
I said
did.
I felt like it was going to take a week for them to click, I guess, with Dylan Brown returning. Shout out to Bryce Cartwright. He killed it.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
been in really good form
great
the last
this
few
entire
weeks.
year.
I brought him into my fantasy the other week, and he's averaging over 70 points a game since I brought him in. He put up 90 on the weekend.
Oh.
He's incredible. He scored
Back to his best.
He scored an early try. He scored the last try. In my opinion, he won them the game. He you know what? He won me my fantasy game. I'm in fantasy finals in one of my leagues, and I had AJ Brimson, and he got ruled out really late, and it does the projected scores, and I was going to lose by 50 or something. I ended up winning by 4 points off the back of Bryce Cartwright. So shout out to Bryce Cartwright.
Eels legend.
Thank you.
Bryce Cartwright.
Yeah, Eels legend. But yeah, when the Dragons were up 20 to 10 and they nearly scored that try, that I thought, because I was at work at League and Legends, shout out League and Legends. Actually, you know what? I might have to bleep that because I was watching footy at work. And I don't know if I want that out there because I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. So I might bleep that out. But
Hey.
I was just somewhere on Saturday watching the footy, watching this game, but I didn't have sound on for no particular reason. And so I couldn't hear what the bunk was saying. So I was watching it and I was like, it's going to be a try, walked away. And when I walked away, I was thinking to myself, Dragons up by 16, they're going to go on and win this game. That's insane. And then they didn't. But my point is, I thought Dragons were going to win. I thought the game was over.
Yeah.
And then the Eels
Dragons
just came
have
back
a win
and
coming, I reckon.
yeah, they
Hopefully
looked
it's
all right.
not this bloody week, but I think they got one coming.
Oh, it'd be so funny to edit you up saying that and then it cuts to the Dragons betting sounds.
Yeah, no, you better get prepared.
But yeah, Ravalaara, he scored all their tries.
He did.
But I think it was a just some defensive
I think all
lapses
that
from the
I
Eels
think
left
all
edge.
that walking he does in Wollongong Harbour, where I see him all the time.
Do you always see him walking around?
Yeah, he's always in like the harbour.
Really? I need to go.
Yeah,
I need to go
he's
see him
always
get
just
an
wandering
autograph.
there with his wife.
Yeah, true. Like at the lighthouse.
No, like where like North Beach,
Oh yeah, okay.
like North
yeah.
Surf Club and that.
Yeah,
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 just
true.
along there.
Yeah, fair enough. Just going on walks.
Like with his sunnies on, trying to
Well,
hide himself.
Clearly they're doing him.
Because I know
oh,
Sloaney
what a
and
good-
Bud Sullivan are always like at Taroji Beach, right,
Yeah.
right up the road from me.
Yeah, true.
Like, you know, future guests of the podcast,
Yeah.
possibly.
Future Orange Peeler legends.
Possibly.
Tyrell Sloan and
But you have to
Bud
wait
Sullivan.
and see. I've got connections. I
yeah,
can
that
say
left edge of the Eels. A little bit concerning.
Terrible. Who was it? It was Simonson, wasn't it?
No,
Was
I
he
thought it was
there?
that bloke on debut, Arthur Miller
Oh,
Stephen.
Yeah, well, that's probably.
And I think was Simonson his centre.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say Simonson had to be there.
A lot of the times when I was like looking, it felt like it wasn't Arthur Miller Stephen. Oh, some of them were, but some of them weren't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, you got this young rookie going up against a big guy like
Yeah.
Revelara. Like, you know, it's just unfortunate.
There's definitely other wingers I'd rather debut against.
Like, I would have loved to have seen Sebo against Revelara.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
that's
Sebo didn't play in this game though, did he?
no.
Yeah.
That's his
Oh, yeah,
normally
okay,
that's his
that
side, and
would
normally
be-
that's a really good matchup
Yeah.
because they've played against each other before and they like take it personally.
each
They
other,
go
right?
at it. Yeah, it's actually entertaining stuff. But yeah, like the Eels obviously they got the job done. It wasn't the most promising win, but a win's a win.
Yeah.
But can they make the
No,
finals?
I don't think they will.
I did.
They could beat the Broncos this week. Though. I
Based
could
on
give them a
my
chance.
math, they've got to go 3 from 4. No, 2 from 3 because they got the bye. They play.
Oh yeah, they got that final round.
They
bye as
play
well.
Broncos in. Is that in Brisbane?
Yeah,
Broncos in
Gabba.
Brisbane. Panthers in Penrith. And then what was the other game? The other game wasn't all that easy either. Let me have and Roosters. Who like it's like
no.
they got to win 2 out
I'll
of
say
3.
no.
So let's say that they beat Roosters. Let's just obviously that's not a guaranteed win, but let's just say that it's a guaranteed win, right? They still have to beat either Panthers or Broncos.
Yeah.
Away.
They have to.
Can they do it?
Yeah, they can.
But
They can beat the Broncos.
They
and
do-
Can,
they do.
They can win all these games.
they do enjoy beating the Panthers.
If they wanted to win this game, they could.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. If I was an Eels fan, which thank goodness I'm not because I hate the Eels, but as the Eels fans out there, they must be nervous.
Oh god, yeah.
They must be
Yeah.
very
They're just, like,
nervous.
biting their nails at the moment.
Out of every team on the ladder right now, I'd say they're the most nervous.
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
Cowboys, I guess, would be
South
close.
fans are nervous. Trust me, we're nervous.
Not as nervous as Eels, I don't reckon. I feel like you're safer than the Eels. Like even Cowboys, I feel like the Eels draw is just so tough.
I know. It's just so.
And like you look at
unfortunate.
the other two teams that you'd think would be as nervous are Rabbitohs and Cowboys, and they both have a bye as well, and then an easier
Yeah.
draw. So, you know what? Shout out to the Eels. What a shame. I missed the 8. Oh, the Dragons, Zane. Can they make the finals? Ooh.
No.
Can,
Move on.
where,
No.
are you just locking them into 16th? Like they're 4 points behind the Bulldogs, 4 points ahead of the Tigers. Do you just lock them into 16th, or can they get the spoon, or can they jump? Like, because you're saying they've got another win in them.
They could still get the spoon, but I don't. Yeah, I don't.
I feel like
I
they're
think
just in the
Tigers have
awkward
it
spot.
locked in.
And I feel
Okay.
like Bulldogs are locked in above the
Buzz
Dragons.
is asking me for a Buzz Rothfield version of these t-shirts.
Wait, actual?
Yeah.
The
Should message the vintage Fred and
Yeah.
get a Buzz Rothfield. How good would that be? I'd get one.
I'd cop one.
Well, you'd have to bring it to you.
Yeah, I'd wear it to class.
How God bring oh yeah.
That'd be sick for it. That'd be funny as.
That would be good.
Shout out to as we've later
So many
sponsor the vintage thread. They
Can we
might
get
be
an Ashley
dropping
Klein one as well?
an Ash Klein.
Yeah, I would
they do.
like-
That's the thing though. They do custom.
Yeah, I'd do.
So
Ash
you
Klein
just got
and
to
Buzz
request
Rothfield.
it. Yeah, probably.
Maybe like Jason David one.
Jason David t-shirts would pop. They would pop. I'd cop a Jason David t-shirt.
Yeah, I want to.
When are we dropping the Zane and Winston graphic tees? The orange
God.
peelers.
God, I don't.
Orange peelers, and it's just me and you.
We could get merch soon. We could get
Merch
our logo.
soon.
But
Comment below if you'd buy orange peelers merch.
yeah, that's well. We need
Yeah.
to know if people would buy it.
Yeah.
That's,
Comment.
but I'd love an Ash Klein one, and I'd love a Buzz Rothfield one.
Yeah. Well, message the vintage thread. They might hook you up.
Yeah, they might.
They probably. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do
Yeah,
it.
they'd,
Like,
there'd be
surely.
heaps of images of Buzz Rothfield.
Oh, easily. Just him at a desk
Yeah.
on 360. Surely NRL 360 merch. Why haven't Fox jumped on that?
I know. Who would buy it for sure?
As a joke, but hey, you know you can get like those socks with people's faces.
Yeah.
Get like Buzz Rothfield socks. They probably exist. There was a footy player wearing his teammates' head. I forget who it was. It was like
I do remember that.
I genuinely don't remember who it was, but there was somebody wearing like another player's face on like their undies or something. It was weird.
Yeah, I think was it JT Goat?
They probably it wasn't that, but I think they exist. You can get
Yeah.
like Matty John's budgies and stuff. This isn't an ad for Budgie Smuggler,
Yeah.
by the way. But if they want to sponsor us,
Yeah,
we'll take it.
That would be nice.
Well, Budgie Smuggler, I know you watch the podcast. I was going to say if you're watching, I know you're watching. If you can send us some Budgie Smugglers, we will sit here and we'll do a podcast in nothing but Budgie Smugglers.
God, will we? Will we?
Anyway, on to Raiders Tigers.
That's my answer to that game. That was terrible.
You've been hyping this one up all day, mate.
Buzz
to me.
Rothfield, speaking of Buzz Rothfield, made a very good point on NRL 360. He ripped into the bunker and the referees in this game. I'll quote what he said. Why can't our multi-million-dollar bunker not rule on forward passes? Blatant ones as well. That was so obvious.
Why can they rule on the most hardest to call offsides, but they can't rule on forward passes?
Exactly. And I don't care about, if the camera's at this angle, it can't see if it's forward over there. I don't care.
They do it for offsides.
They do.
I've said for ages, for probably years, that I think fans would rather than be able to rule on forward passes than
get it
not.
wrong.
And here's my compromise. If it's so close that you can't call it,
Yeah, whatever.
you call it as the on-field decision. If it's genuinely too hard to call, but I think like 80% of them, maybe even more than 80% are that obvious
To see,
that you'd be able to
yeah.
rule on it. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
And so I feel like fans would happily cop a couple of bad calls if we're getting 80% more correct. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, surely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But,
Yeah.
Tigers just really unlucky in this game, weren't they?
Oh,
I
they
thought-
just...
Raiders had a good lead, but as always, they fade out of games and managed to just get over the
Well, I
line.
thought Tigers were going to get it at the end.
They just
hey.
refused to win 13 plus. the
They were
Raiders.
one good bounce away
Yeah.
from winning
They
the
just
Tigers.
refused to lose 13 plus.
They
Come
hate
to
winning
win
13 plus.
yeah.
They hate winning 13 plus the Raiders.
Yeah,
Have they done it this year or have they done it once?
Maybe once. I
Let
swear
me have
their
a-
biggest
I
win.
think-
Actually, no. I swear their biggest win was against South, 7 points.
I think they beat Dragons by 8. I think that
they
broke
won
the
by
record.
10, maybe.
I'm looking at it. They've actually
no,
lost
they
a
beat
couple
Dragons
of
by
games.
6. Oh no, 10. They beat the Dragons by 10 in Wollongong.
What they beat the yeah
Dragons
that's
by
what I was
10 in
thinking.
Wollongong.
That's their biggest win of the season. That's the last win they had. Is that right?
Raiders.
They lost to the Warriors, so that the bye, then lost to the Warriors by 1, then got flogged by the Knights, and then and then beat the Tigers. Obviously, they are a bit out of form, aren't they? How are they in 5th?
Who Raiders?
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Yeah, fair
They don't
enough.
seem, like, you look at the ladder, you're like, how are the Raiders there?
But like they just get it done.
Because I remember pre-season, we're just like, we didn't know where to put them.
Mm.
Like, they could play finals, but like, should they?
They were sort of the same last year.
Yeah, they're just like there every year.
Yeah.
You're just like, I got Penrith, Storm, Raiders. We'll put them there.
Yeah,
That's how I literally make my ladder prediction.
yeah.
Like, they're always the most forgettable team for me.
Mm.
Them and the Titans, I'm just like, put them here.
Speaking of the Raiders, I think you were sort of alluding to this earlier. Thoughts on the logo?
The Raiders. I reckon they went Rugby League Live 4, designed it.
It's not good, is it?
Yeah, no.
I don't like it
It's
at
the
all.
eyes, really. That's the
Yeah,
main issue.
I put it. You replied to my story. I think of the change that I made.
Yeah, and
right?
it looked better.
Yeah.
It still didn't look good, but it looked better with the eyes. That's just ruined it.
So if as I've said so many times today, I'll try and put a photo up in the thing, but it's like got a dark green beard. So they've super simplified it, and then it's got a dark green beard and dark green eyes. But the thing is, the green isn't Raiders green either.
Like, we saw when the Titans did that as well. They just really left their detail out of it. Just made it really simple. But even the Tigers, I think every team must be going to do it in this sort of way.
It's just sort of
eventually.
the modern
just
game.
make it real
Knights,
simple.
I like the Knights one that they did. That theirs was good at least, but they simplified
But I feel
theirs.
like every team's
Storm semi recently.
I feel like the Sea Eagles, it's like, no, do up theirs very soon. Like do a massive.
See, I feel
makeover.
like Manly's is fine. I was talking with this about something. I think maybe they might cut this. If I was going to change it at all, I'd cut the circle. But I feel like the bird's sweet.
Yeah. I feel like Manly and the Sharks are going to change her soon.
I think Cowboys should change theirs.
Yeah, to what though?
Like more of a cowboy. like what is it? It's like a
like
star
horns,
with
like a bull.
horns. Yeah. See, I feel like it could be more. I think it could be better. I don't rate it. Hey.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
It's very iconic though.
But yeah, the Sharks as well. I feel like they could have a sick logo.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to
I
feel like they're going to update like just to a downgraded version.
Just
of
do like
they
what
got
the
now.
Tigers and that have done. So even I feel like Bulldogs might.
Like, you know, just have like the
Simplified
shark head as well. Yeah,
I feel
Or
like the
even
Bulldogs could go to just a Bulldog.
yeah, or just a head, really.
Yeah.
It'll be like not as detailed the bulldog either. Like it'll be like hand drawn.
Even like Eels.
I like
surf.
theirs,
Yeah,
though.
but like I'm just thinking like Dragons are the number one team that need a change in my opinion.
Yeah,
They need to be, firstly, let's get rid of the Knight. Secondly, let's get rid of the Bronco.
from the dragon. They're
And
never
then
changing theirs.
let's have a sick looking dragon.
Yeah, they're never changing
I
theirs.
know.
Though. They got a
Yeah.
knight and a bronco in their logo. It's ridiculous,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's so silly. But yeah, the Raiders, the logo change. I know, like I haven't seen anyone that actually likes it.
Yeah,
I know,
no.
obviously, like Tyson Bennett. I think you're
He
familiar
hates
with
it.
him. He's a big Raiders
Yeah,
fan
the only
and a
people that
graphic
like it are
designer.
the people who don't like my videos and just want to disagree with me for the sake of it.
Did you have people commenting saying that?
But they're the people who just want
Yeah.
to disagree with me just for the sake of it.
Yeah, shout out to the haters.
Yeah.
We know who you are.
Yeah, we do, you know, behind the fake account.
Yeah, it's always a fake account,
10
bro.
followers and following 30 people.
It's literally always, hey. There's what's his? There's one that always. Have you ever seen Dad?
Yep.
Dad, and then there's a Dane.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
Dane.
you get Dane?
Shout out to Dane, you know, deserve a shout out.
He always rips into Hainsey as well.
Yeah.
Dane and Dad.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dane and Dad.
Oh, Dad rips into everyone.
Yeah,
doesn't he?
he's got like no profile picture and he's got like
No,
three
It's
followers.
not just me. He rips into Jason. You know,
Yeah.
I see him at Trademark Sports sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
And like, mate, let's be honest. If
seems
you're
like just a failed content creator.
if
Someone
you're
needs to, like-
hating on Trademark Sports of all people, like you're just wrong at that stage. Like if you're hating on my content, I can sort of see where you're coming from. But if you're hating on Trademark Sport,
Yeah,
who's
I
like
reckon,
elite.
honestly, you post a video and see how it goes.
Yeah, Dad.
Dad,
Yeah,
yeah.
Dad. We know you're watching, and you shout out to Dad. Nah, Dad, the TikTok account.
No, I love your dad.
Yeah, my dad's a legend. I haven't met your dad, but he's probably a legend
Yeah.
as well. Does he go for South?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, he's not a legend then.
Oh. Yes, there we go.
Yeah, Dad, if you're
Shout out.
watching this podcast, Dad, the TikTok person, comment.
Yeah.
And
Let's see
also,
what he
I hate
says.
you. Yeah, see what he says. But the Tigers, on the other hand, they haven't changed.
Just, whatever.
Yeah.
Not much to say about them.
Wooden
They're just
spooners,
They're just
unfortunately.
irrelevant at this point of this season.
Yeah, unfortunately, it must be so tough for them. They signed Sullivan during the week. What was that
did.
like the other
Massive.
week?
Going to make a massive
Interesting
difference for him,
signing.
isn't
Very interesting signing. Like,
he? He's had about, I'd say 22 chances for the Dragons to prove himself and just never has.
is he halfback? Is he starting halfback next
I believe
year?
so.
And then Fainu, he's just literally just warming the seat for Fainu though. I guess did he go there
Just
for
the
money? I
Tigers,
guess
when there's a player on the market, Tigers are after him.
the Raiders just quickly bounce back to them because obviously like Tigers wouldn't spoon, right?
Oh, yeah.
Raiders, where do they end up? You said they're going to miss the eight.
Ninth. I'm going to stick by it. They
That's
miss
so
it.
hot. I'm going sixth. That's where I got them on my ladder predictor.
They don't deserve to be that high.
But
really
they've got
don't.
the points on the board though. That's the thing.
What, and you have
you
Knights
can't
coming
lose
seventh.
points. I think I had Knights in seventh.
That's not a finals game, that.
But you look at the
Come on.
point. Yeah.
That is not a semi-finals game.
Literally. Knights, Canberra and Canberra.
No, better be like the first Saturday game. Has to be.
Mate, you put that like just Monday night.
Yeah, that'd be the early Saturday
That's
game.
a Sunday game if I've ever seen one.
Not even Sunday, are they?
Wait, how do the finals work? Thursday
Friday night? No, it's Friday
Thursday.
night.
Friday,
two on
two Saturday.
There's Saturday,
And one
5:30
Sunday.
maybe. Or Saturday,
Yeah.
4 o'clock maybe.
No, it'd be 5:30 and
Okay, yeah,
prime
then the
time
night,
and
yeah.
7:30. So
Make
yeah,
that the Saturday
that's
5:30
the
game.
Saturday 5:30 for sure.
Then I think Rabbits Sharks would be the
I
Sunday.
think they do the top four game,
the night games.
bottom four, top four, and then the Sundays the
No, I
bottom
think
four.
the top 4 are just the night games in general.
Yeah, like so Friday and Saturday night are the top four games.
Friday night would be whoever Penn.
Because last year the Sunday game was the Symbian Sunday, and that was
Yeah.
the bottom four.
And I really wish Rabbitohs and Roosters played more in the day. More day games. They're not going to because it's a prime time slot
Yeah.
game, but they need to play more games in the day because that was so good that.
Yeah. Were you at it?
Nah.
But still, I remember watching like the first half and then had to go to work and
Oh,
I
you
had it playing
missed
on my
so
phone,
much.
and I was like, "What is happening? What
It
am I
was so
missing?"
funny though. Just Ashley Klein just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, he was just getting frustrated towards the end.
On to game of the week, Zane. Bulldogs in the bye.
I didn't watch this game.
How convincing were the
I couldn't
Bulldogs?
find where you could watch it though. It
was-
wasn't on KO. It wasn't on Fox Sports.
Yeah, look,
What,
just
Nine
secret.
didn't have it?
So you didn't watch this one? The Bulldogs in the bye. Best game ever.
Was it?
I've never seen such like a team just so convincingly earn the 2 points over the weekend. Just a gutsy win, and I think the final they can really take some momentum out of this one. The finals run starts now, Zane. There's just the way they played. It was just a momentum building win. You know, Toby Sexton and Matt Burton, the combinations developing. Kickout. You know, he came back from injury against the Dolphins and he didn't get hurt over the weekend, which is always good. Luke Thompson is now back from injury.
Is he? I didn't even know he played for the Dogs.
Yeah, Luke Thompson, that's a throwback. The Bulldogs played
Yeah, it
that
makes me
good
feel
that he's just
nostalgic.
healed now. It's incredible. Like, just a great win, a great weekend for the Bulldogs, and you know, good 2 points. And as I said, the finals run, it starts now. Smell the Tic Tacs.
For next year.
Well, for this year. If you'd watched the game, you'd know what I was talking about,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
They were just so convincing. I want to do a cheeky throw to the NRLW,
Okay.
just because
We're going to talk about Kennedy.
we will, but I just want to say firstly, did you watch any of the games? I was going to say any standout players outside of Kennedy Charrington.
Oh, what's her name?
Oh yeah,
From the Broncos. Who
Yeah,
scored 4 tries.
Yeah, how good?
My
I don't
God.
remember her name either, but yeah,
Oh my God.
She can
She's
play.
Huge.
yeah,
That's the way she runs. I'm like, bloody
she's a
hell.
rookie as well.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
goodness sakes, she's massive. Like, we've got to insert her name. Like I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, find it,
We
because
cannot
this is
go through,
disrespectful.
that girl who debuted. Like we can't.
It wasn't debut, but she's a rookie.
Yeah.
But she actually
But no, we
equaled.
can still guess call her that girl who debuted.
Oh, I'm with you. But she actually.
I'm gonna find her
She
name.
equaled the club record for the Broncos
Her
for most tries
name
in a game.
Is Melee Hufunga. Sorry if I mispronounced that.
Mele Hufunga, yeah. Yeah, sorry if we pronounced that wrong, but that's how I'd pronounce it. Mele Hufunga. Yeah, no, she killed it. She'd
But
actually
then
have to be my
we
standout
go
as
to the
well.
Eels, Kennedy Sherrington.
Yeah.
Sent off as she should have been. That was like
It was ugly.
there.
It was
It's a
ugly.
terrible tackle.
And I hate saying this, but I do think the player dove a little bit, probably to
Still,
protect themselves.
like, that
but
was-
yeah, like the intent was there. She lifted the leg and like tried to flip
Yeah.
it. What I sort of said was she's probably not strong enough to like flip someone on their head. And that's why I think the play did dive a little bit, but she still tried to. And she
Right,
did
yeah.
in the end, right? So she's got a 4-week suspension.
Yeah, that's like the rest of the season.
Nearly. I think there's like maybe like 6 weeks left or 7. So she does get to play again.
Eels aren't playing finals.
No,
NRLW.
no,
No
they're
way.
going really bad. They were in the grand final last year,
They were.
and they've just they did lose. I think they only retained like 3 players.
Yeah.
Kennedy being one of them, but they did make some good signings. It's weird. Like Rachel Pearson, she's the halfback for the Eels. She was like the New South Wales halfback in game 1,
Right.
and won Origin last year with New South Wales. But then she got replaced with Jessie Southwell, who's like one of my favourite players in NRLW. Shout out to the Knights. I wish the Bulldogs had a team. Do you wish South? Would you watch?
Yeah.
Would you watch it more if South had a
Yes,
team?
I'd be more interested in it. But I just find
Interesting.
it strange that South don't and the Dogs. Like you'd think that those two type of clubs that would have, and we do have women's teams, just not like NRLW.
Yeah, I feel like that almost have to be next.
No, surely.
Yeah.
But who else doesn't? Melbourne don't.
'Cause
and the Warriors.
The thing with it is, I feel like they don't want to get too many Sydney teams because like the NRL is overpopulated in Sydney, and because they've got like a chance to start fresh, I think they're trying. Obviously, they added the Tigers and Sharks, but to their credit, they have bigger women's teams in having a women's premiership than Bulldogs and South.
Yeah.
Like it'd literally be like Tigers, Sharks, Bulldogs, South. Yeah. Like Bulldogs and South should be next.
So who else don't have one? It's
Warriors and
Warriors
Melbourne.
used to, but
Yeah, and don't anymore.
Melbourne,
and then
South Dogs. That's it.
Panthers.
Panthers don't either. Don't know.
So Titans, Cowboys, and Broncos. Dolphins.
Dolphins don't either. Yeah. So it's
Trying to think of other Sydney
5 or
clubs.
6. No, it's Penrith, Dogs, South. I think Manly don't. Have
Manly.
One. Yeah.
And that'd be it for the Sydney teams. But yeah, I think Manly have a decent women's.
No, I think they're
do.
planning on bidding for
Yeah.
one.
So like it makes sense to go Melbourne and New Zealand next, because then then it's spread evenly. But Yeah, I don't know when the next expansion will be, but I really hope the Bulldogs and South.
Yeah.
Because like they're two big clubs.
Yeah, exactly. Like you'd think South would have
Yeah.
one by now.
But as I said, it was just sort of the teams that got in first, which was Dragons, Roosters,
Warriors and
Broncos.
Broncos.
And then because like those were the two Sydney teams that got in first, they didn't want to add too many. And then obviously Eels, and then they're just adding the teams that are like
when did Eels
better
come?
for women.
They were last year, weren't they? Eels.
Or the year before. I think year before.
Knights,
Year before last year.
Knights as well.
I think Knights were last year.
Okay, and
Yeah.
they won their first year.
Yeah, or maybe they were second year. They were definitely first or second year last year. But yeah, I just wish the Bulldogs were in it. But as I said, like I think Bulldogs and South will be very close to next. It does make sense to go Warriors and Storm.
Yeah.
But then
Bring Warriors back.
I think they added 4 teams this time. I think they'll either do 4 again or they'll do 2 and 2.
Yeah.
I think the next, the next, what do you call it? Like development or whatever. The next
Expansion.
the next expansion I think will be in 2 years. I think they'll want to settle just for a couple of seasons, let it play out, and then add either 2 or 4, and then maybe 2 years later add another 2 if they only do 2.
Or if they expand, to Perth by that point.
Yeah, see that if Perth bring in a team, I wouldn't be surprised to see them go to Perth.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to watch. I reckon, if you can watch the NRLW games, a lot of them overlap. But if you're not, and it's obviously because they try and work around the NRL games.
Oh, yeah.
So you might be at work. I know a lot of the time it's
in
you're at work,
the
whatever.
middle of the
But
day.
if you do get the chance, they're good games. I really enjoy them, especially this week. There's 2 games. The last 2 games of the round are top of the table clashes.
I just remember seeing highlights of that girl from the Broncos.
Yeah, she killed it.
Goodness.
Even just watch the highlight tape. I actually get around it. All right, before we get into our predictions this week, shout out to Picklebet. If you're going to have a bet, make sure
Picklebet.
use Picklebet. That's right, Zane.
Use code HOTDOG.
Code HOTDOG when you're signing up. Always gamble responsibly, but if you're going to gamble, do it with Picklebet. Chances are you're about to lose. As I said, gamble responsibly, 18 plus only, set a deposit limit. You know what to do by now, surely. If you're having any trouble, call 1-800-858-858. Code HOTDOG. Sign up to Picklebet. Have a bit of fun. Don't bet.
I've already posted my tipping video for this week, so we
Did you?
may as well insert that over, but no. I'll do it again, yes.
All right, Manly and Panthers.
I'll just repeat everything I said in that video.
Yeah.
So, Luai and Edwards are out. No, Luai and Kenny are out, with Edwards, Toto, and Martin rumoured to be out.
Yeah.
So, assuming those 3 play, I'll say Panthers 13 plus.
Mm-hmm.
But even if they don't play, I'll still go Panthers 1-12.
Yeah. And try scorer. Didn't do that in the tipping video, did you, mate?
Let's go. Who's big? Cleary. We'll go Cleary.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a bit of a smoky.
Yeah.
All right, Sharks. Oh, hang on. I'm on Panthers 13 plus. I'm on Scotty Sorensen.
Yeah, I
Bit of
nearly
value.
went him just then, actually. I'm like, yeah, fine.
All
we'll
right,
do this.
Sharks Titans.
I think, Sharks were really good against the Bunnies last week, and I think they'll have enough to get over the Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
At
you're
Shark
going-
Park as well. Sharks by 13 plus, and we'll go with someone who always scores at Shark Park. Renowned. Is he? No,
Yeah, I think
this
so.
week?
Let me have a check. You know what? I don't want to check. because I
Fine.
want you to get
Nico.
it wrong.
We'll go Nico.
I'm on Nico, so I'm going to check.
Yeah.
I was literally, so I'm on Sharks 13 plus as well, and I was going to go Ronaldo, and then I was like, I don't know if he's playing, so I went Nico. Ronaldo is playing.
Okay, well, I'll still go Nico.
I'll take Ronaldo. Thank you very much. Let me change that. And then, as I said mine, hey, so then Broncos are Eels in Brisbane.
I think Broncos should win this pretty well, but I can see a world where the Eels make this 1-12.
Yeah. So you go 1-12 or 13
Yeah,
plus?
I'm going to go Reynolds to score.
Reynolds.
I've gone all the halfbacks so far, haven't I?
Reynolds. You can take me now.
I've gone all the halfbacks so far. I'm going to keep this going, actually.
You're going to go halfback every game.
Yeah. That's my bold prediction.
Multi of the week. Yeah, Sportshed TV bold prediction, a halfback to score in every game.
I'll send that as mine.
They literally just put that post up. Jump on
I'll
it.
tell them.
Do it literally live on the podcast. Shout out
Yep.
Sportshed TV. All right, my tip for that game is Broncos 1-12 as well, but I'm on the other half. Ezra Mam. All right, Souths Dragons. I wonder you're going to this one, Zane.
I just don't care what happens. I just hope we win. I seriously do.
Yeah.
We need to win 13 plus.
Try scorer.
Lachlan Elias.
Why?
Because he's a halfback.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
team
true.
Tipping the win. That's why.
Not Ben Hunt?
Nah.
All right, I'm on South 1-12. I feel like they might just bomb it, and Dragons have been all right, so
Yeah,
I'm going to go
probably
1-12.
bomb
And then AJ safe as houses usually.
Yeah.
AJ. Tigers Warriors.
Well, I'm going to go. It's a Tigers home game.
It's in New
I think
Zealand
Warriors
though.
will win this pretty well. So Sean Johnson to score, which
Yeah,
is
that's
probably
nice.
a pretty good choice anyway.
You on 13 plus?
Yeah, I reckon by about 22.
You know what? Shout out to the Tigers for taking their game to New Zealand.
Yeah.
The only team that did it. So credit to them. Like,
Obviously, it was a
Every
financial
team should
thing
have
while
done
they
it.
did it, but yeah, they did it.
it was
just-
also as like a thank you though
Yeah.
to the Warriors, which I feel like more teams should have done. Bulldogs used to take their game to New Zealand.
yeah, against the Warriors as well.
I'm on Warriors 13 plus and Dallin to score
Yeah,
a try.
used to play in like that indoor stadium.
Yeah, we played in
Yeah.
the indoor one. Yeah, which was random
weird
as
indoor stadium,
Yeah,
isn't it?
weird as hey. I think like Marvel can be indoors.
Yeah,
hey?
can they have the roof?
Yeah,
Like I've never been to like a stadium with the roof shut. I just can't. They're going to do that to a core at one point, weren't they?
yeah.
Okay,
That's
knock-
what. Yeah, when
knock it
like
down
this
and-
year, I think it was going to be the developments.
Yeah, open.
And then they just ended up giving us a big screen.
Yeah,
But
I
they're
know.
going to knock it down and rebuild it, and have
we
a
were going to
roof and
play
stuff.
at bloody SCG, then go to Allianz for a bit until it was.
I think
finished.
we'll just go on a Bankwest,
Yeah, Combank.
Combank. Sorry, yeah.
We would have if we were going to develop our core Roosters, we would have had to have played at Allianz. So there you go.
Wasn't to be, mate. Wasn't to be. All right, Roosters, Dolphins. Dolphins did beat them in round one. The upset of the season, I feel like that was.
I feel like Roosters should win. That's the
Yeah.
thing. So I'll go Hutcho to score.
You know, like 1 to 12 or 13
Yeah,
plus,
like by about 4, so 1 to 12.
and the obviously the halfback.
Yeah.
I'm going Roosters 1 to 12 as well. We're very in sync today. We've only got one different, and that was the margin on the South game.
Right.
I'm on Roosters 1 to 12
at the moment, aren't I?
and Toops
Toops. Cut that. Don't do it again.
and Daniel Tupou.
Good choice.
I'm on Roosters 1 to 12 and Daniel Tupou to score the try. Broke the try scoring record recently. Storm Raiders in Melbourne, but as we said earlier, like
Look,
Raiders
I
like to
think
take
Raiders
it to them.
could win this,
Yeah.
but I think Storm will win. And Jerome Hughes, if he's named, to score.
Hughes. He was named.
Okay, so Jerome Hughes.
Wait, did you say 1 to 12 or 13 plus? Sorry.
1 to 12, I'll say.
And
just 'cause,
Hughes.
yeah.
All right, game of the week. Bulldogs looking to bounce back after a big win against the bye, big win against the Dolphins. Knights, Doggies in Newcastle.
I'll go Knights, just like as an obvious, choice.
Yeah.
Like they should, you'd think they'd win this game.
66-0.
Nah, no way.
66
I reckon 1
nil.
to 12 this time.
There you go. So you're not
Then
th-
Jackson
13 plus.
Hastings to score. Wollongong legend.
He's actually scored.
Wollongong legend.
There you
Jackson
go.
Hastings.
Zane. I said earlier in the piece that I genuinely feel like the Bulldogs going to win this game. I said it last week to make sure I wasn't, only saying it for this week. Genuinely for the last few weeks I've been like, I think Bulldogs are going to beat the Knights. Now it's sort of playing into it a bit because Bradman Best is out of this game.
He is too.
Remember in the 66-0 flogging, he starred in it.
He annihilated.
He ended up getting picked in use of those off the back of it. You also had one of the worst defensive right edges in rugby league history, which is no longer there. You know who else was missing? Toby Sexton didn't play in that game.
He didn't.
He wasn't even playing for the club. Kickout, Addo Carr, Thompson are all back in. They didn't play in that game either. So not only do I think it's going to be closer, I genuinely think that the Doggies win this one. I'm going to go a bit further though. Doggies 13 plus. Doggies 13 plus. I've called one ambush earlier in the year, Zane. You'd remember the Storm game when I said Doggies 13 plus and Crows 2 or more when we ambushed Melbourne. This week we're ambushing Newcastle. Last year in Newcastle, Crows scored 2 tries. I'm on Crows 2 or more again this week. For the sake of the tipping, it's Crows anytime. But my multi of the week, Doggies 13 plus, Jacob Crows 2 or more. What's your multi of the week?
My multi of the week is for. I'm going to go South to win 13 plus, hopefully, and then Ilias. Ilias to score, and hopefully throw Trollman in there, and he does a backflip.
You want to throw Trell in there?
Yeah, and he does
Trell
He
backflip?
does a backflip as
For
well.
the sake of your t-shirt, throw Trell in there. Our fan multi this week was interesting. Eels, sorry, not 13 plus. Eels 1 to 12.
Oh, yeah.
The try scorer, Smoothie.
Oh, okay. There we go.
That's
There we go.
that's the fan multi of the week.
I mean, it's better than mine of a few weeks ago where I picked Luca Moretti to score.
Yeah, yeah.
to
So that's the fan multi of the week. Eels upset the Broncos and Tyson Smoothie. You know the reasoning they gave for picking him? They liked his name.
Yeah.
So-
That's exactly why I chose Pompey that week.
All right, that'll do me. Shout out to Picklebet. Shout out to the Vintage Thread. Follow Picklebet. Follow the Vintage Thread. Sign up to Picklebet.
And follow Troll.
I forgot the most important part of the Vintage Thread bit. We have a discount code.
We do we?
Hot Dog 10.
Oh.
10% off.
That. Hot Dog 10.
So,
10% off.
you know what? That's a reward. If you've watched to the end of the podcast, you can have 10% off your t-shirt.
There we go.
So go to the Vintage Thread on Instagram or go to the website and put in Hot Dog 10. Get 10% off your Matt Burton t-shirt, your Troll Mitt shirt, any team. Thank you for watching to the end. Only the people that watch to the end know the code now.
Yeah.
And comment. Comment something random to show that you watched to the end. But don't give away the code. So comment Troll Mitt.
There we go.
All right. Thanks for watching. Let's trot.